Every single morning, a war is fought before the sun even breaks the horizon. It is a silent battle between your dreams and your comfort, and you have to choose a side. In that split second, when your eyes open, you are casting a vote for the person you intend to be. Do you surrender to the sheets, hit the snooze button, and let your potential slip through your fingers? Or do you rise with a vengeance, ready to hunt down your destiny? Most people lose this battle before their feet even touch the floor because they underestimate the cost of those 5 more minutes. But realize this, those stolen minutes bleed into hours, the hours into days, and suddenly you are sprinting through life, always breathless, always behind, trapped in a mindset of mediocrity that you built with your own hands. I know the seduction of a warm bed. I know the heavy gravity of sleep and the lies we tell ourselves about how good it feels to stay hidden under the covers. It is the ultimate temptation, the easiest choice. But let me tell you something real. The men and women who shape the world do not negotiate with their comfort. They dominate it. They don't wake up early because it feels good. They wake up early because they know that the dawn belongs to the hunters, not the prey. There is a sacred power in the 4 a.m. darkness, a silence where clarity is born and where you can outwork the world while your competition is still dreaming about success. Today, I'm going to hand you the blueprint to weaponize your mornings, to shatter the chains of laziness, and to turn the first hours of your day into the fuel that propels you toward greatness. Listen closely because we are about to rewrite your future. Number 1, the mystical power of the pre-dawn hours. There is a vibration in the early morning that you cannot find at noon or sunset. The streets are empty, the noise has not yet started, and the world is holding its breath. In this solitude, you possess the most valuable currency on earth. Uninterrupted time, time that belongs solely to you before the demands of the world come crashing in to steal your attention. Most people view waking up early as a punishment, a prison sentence they have to endure, but you need to flip the script and see it as a superpower. The early morning is the only time you are truly the captain of your ship. No boss is calling, no emails are screaming, no children are crying. It is just you and your ambition. Think about the average person's morning ritual. It is a chaotic disaster. They wake up too late. Panic sets in, and the first thing they do is grab their phone to wire their brain into other people's lives. They start their day reacting to news, reacting to messages, reacting to the clock, and they carry the magic of 4 a.m. solitude, that frantic energy, until they pass out. At night. Now contrast that with the warrior who rises before the sun. They hydrate, they move their body, they sharpen their mind, and they map out their conquest before the enemy even opens an eye. Who do you think wins the war? Waking up early isn't just about adding hours to your clock. It is about seizing authority over your existence. It is the difference between living by design and living by default. The difference between the master and the servant. Then there is the mental edge, that razor-sharp clarity that the morning silence gifts you. When the world is asleep, your brain is a blank canvas, untainted by the stress and the drama of the day. This is your prime time for genius, for strategy, for the kind of deep work that builds empires. The titans of industry, the artists, the legends, they guard their mornings with their lives because they know that a distracted mind is a weak mind. Whether you are building a business, writing a masterpiece, or solving a crisis, the answers come in the quiet. Wake up and claim them. Of course, simply being awake is not enough. You cannot just stand there, you must execute. The results you see in your life will be a direct reflection of how you invest these stolen hours. Your days will feel longer, your output will double, and you will walk with a swagger that comes from knowing you have already won the day before lunch. If you have never tasted the victory of a 5 a.m. start, you are sleeping through the best part of your life. Try it for just 7 days. Stand alone in the dark, breathe in the cold air, and feel the power of being ahead. Once you feel that control, you will never surrender to the snooze button again. Number 2, executing the tactical morning. Getting out of bed is the victory, but what you do next is the strategy that wins the war. It is not enough to be conscious. You must be purposeful. Do not dare wake up early, just to lay there and scroll through the highlight reels of other people's lives on social media. That is poison. The mission is to utilize this time to armor your body, sharpen your intellect, and calibrate your spirit for the battle ahead. The greats don't just wake up, they launch. They follow a sequence of actions designed to make them formidable. They know that if they win the morning, they dominate the day. But if they start in weakness, the day will devour them. So, how do you construct the three-step morning protocol, body, mind, plan, morning of champions? You need a system, a triad of power. Ignite the body, sharpen the mind, and map the mission. If you can discipline yourself to hit these three targets every single day, you become unstoppable. The first phase is physical ignition. Your body has been stagnant for hours. It is a cold engine that needs a spark. You must move. It doesn't matter if it's yoga, lifting heavy iron, or sprinting down the street. You have to get the blood pumping. Look at Muhammad Ali. He didn't run in the dark because he loved the scenery. He ran while his opponents slept to psychologically break them before the fight even started. It is about signaling to your physiology that it is go time. Movement isn't just about muscles. It is about waking up your brain, flooding your system with oxygen, and preparing your vessel for war. The second phase is mental ammunition. What you feed your brain in the first hour is the fuel it will run on all day. If you consume garbage news and gossip, your engine will choke. Instead, feed it wisdom, feed it strategy, feed it power. Warren Buffett reads for hours, not to pass time, but to compound his knowledge. Imagine if you spent just 20 minutes absorbing the wisdom of the greats, reading, listening, learning. You would be light years ahead of the peer group that started their day with memes and cat videos. If you cannot read, then write. Journal your thoughts and purge the chaos. Thomas Edison didn't just have ideas. He captured them on paper every morning, refining his genius before the world could distract him. When you write your goals, you are taking a dream from the ether and forging it into reality. You are telling your subconscious, this is what we are hunting today. The final phase is the war map, planning with lethal intention. Do not step onto the battlefield of life without a strategy. Take 10 minutes to identify the targets. What must die today? What is the one thing that moves the needle? Oprah Winfrey doesn't stumble into her day. She sets her intention with laser precision. When you plan, you become proactive. Without a plan, you become a victim of everyone else's agenda. This three-step protocol, body, mind, mission, is the separation between the amateur and the professional. Be consistent, and you will become unrecognizable. Number 3, the psychology of the early riser. Waking up early is not about the clock. It is about the code you live by. It screams to the universe, I run this. It is the ultimate act of self-respect to deny the easy path of sleep and choose the hard path of growth. There is no perfect time to the psychology of the early riser start. There is only this cold, dark morning and your will to rise. The elite don't view the alarm clock as a nuisance. They view it as the starting gun. They understand that by rising while it is dark, they are stealing a march on the enemy. They are gaining ground that cannot be taken back. Look at history. The conquerors, the inventors, the leaders, they built their legacies in the quiet hours because they mastered themselves first. Steve Jobs looked in the mirror every morning and asked the hard questions. He used the morning to align his soul with his mission. But be warned, your brain is a survival machine and it wants to keep you safe, warm, and comfortable. It will lie to you. It will whisper, it's too cold, you're too tired, start tomorrow. This is the moment where dreams go to die. You must be deaf to your feelings and loyal to your discipline. Feelings are fickle. Discipline is iron. Jonna Willing doesn't wake up at 4:30 a.m. because he feels like it. He does it to psychologically dominate the day. He knows that discipline is the only road to freedom. This discipline doesn't appear by magic. It is forged in the fire of small decisions. When that alarm screams, you have a binary choice. You either weaken your will by hitting snooze, or you strengthen your character by getting up. Every time you rise, you are casting a vote for your higher self. Discipline is a muscle. Tear it down and it grows back thicker, harder, stronger. It is not just about work. It is about carving out a sanctuary for your soul. Maya Angelou used the morning to write in a hotel room, stripping away the world, so she could hear her own genius. That solitude is where you build the person you are destined to become. So ask yourself, who are you? Are you the person who hides under the blankets, or are you the one who kicks them off and attacks the day? You don't have to be born this way. Nobody is born a Navy SEAL or a CEO. It is a habit, a callus you build on your mind through repetition. Tomorrow, when the darkness is heavy and the bed is warm, choose the hard path. Prove to yourself that you are the master of your impulses. Once you break through that wall of resistance, the morning becomes your throne. Wake up and take your seat. Number 4, the sanctuary of solitude. We live in a world that is addicted to noise. We are drowning in a tsunami of notifications, opinions, and demands. But in the early morning, before the machinery of society grinds into gear, there is a pocket of peace, a holy silence. This solitude is not emptiness. It is the canvas upon which you paint solitude, your secret weapon, your vision. In these hours, you are untouchable. The world cannot reach you. And in that safety, you can finally hear yourself think. The greatest minds, Einstein, Newton, Tesla, they didn't find their answers in the crowd. They found them in the silence. Einstein walked in solitude to let his mind expand beyond the rigid laws of physics. If you never disconnect from the noise, you will never connect with your purpose. This is not loneliness. Do not confuse the two. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the glory of being alone. Da Vinci knew that to truly create, you must belong to yourself. In the morning, you are whole. You are not a parent, a partner, an employee. You are just a soul with a mission. This is where you find out who you really are. Imagine starting your day without the panic. Just you. A cup of coffee, and the stillness. Kobe Bryant was in the gym at 4 a.m., not just to shoot hoops, but to be alone with his craft, to meditate on his greatness while the competition slept. That solitude was the forge where the Mamba mentality was hammered into existence. Even 15 minutes of this silence can save your sanity. But most people are terrified of silence. They fill every second with music, podcast, or TV because they are afraid to face their own thoughts. But you must be different. You must sit in the fire of your own mind and confront your fears, your doubts, your ambitions. Gandhi held the weight of a nation on his shoulders. Yet he sat in silence every morning because he knew that without inner peace, effective action is impossible. If you do not claim this time, the world will tear you apart. You will be pulled in 1,000 directions, reacting to everyone else's emergencies. But if you anchor yourself in the morning solitude, you become unshakable. You enter the chaos of the day with a calm center that no one can disturb. How do you do it? It's simple. Beat the sun. Give yourself 15 minutes of nothingness. Do not touch your phone. Let it die. Just breathe. Journal. Pray. Sit. Let your mind settle like water in a glass. You don't need a monastery. You just need the discipline to shut up and listen to your own soul. This is where strength is born. Number 5, the rituals of the Titans. Success is not a lottery ticket. It is a construction project built brick by brick, morning by morning. If you study the dossier of any high achiever, you will find a morning ritual that acts as their launch pad. They don't wing it. They have a protocol. Benjamin Franklin, a man who shaped nations, started every day with the ultimate question, what good shall I do this day? He didn't ask, what do I have to do? He asked, what good shall I do? He set a moral and productive compass before he put on his boots. This isn't ancient history. This is a timeless blueprint for effectiveness. Look at the modern titans. They wake up with a mission. Howard Schultz is up at 4:30 a.m., not because he has to make the coffee, but because rituals of titans, how billionaires start. He needs that time to visualize the global empire he leads. He respects the morning because he respects his mission. If you hit snooze, you are disrespecting your own potential. Movement is non-negotiable for these people. Barack Obama ran the free world, yet he never missed his morning workout. Why? Because he knew that physical stamina fuels mental stamina. You cannot run a business, a family, or a life on a battery that is half empty. Move your body to sharpen your blade. Then they feed the beast. Bill Gates is devouring knowledge while you are sleeping. He is loading his brain with data, trends, and ideas. He is upgrading his software every single morning. If the richest men in the world are still learning, what is your excuse? Read a page, listen to a mentor, expand your horizon, and they center their spirit. Whether it's Gandhi's prayer or Arnold Schwarzenegger's visualization, they see the victory before they step into the arena. Arnold didn't just lift weights, he visualized the trophy in his hands until it felt real. When you see it in your mind, your body will find a way to make it happen. Your routine doesn't need to be their routine, it just needs to be yours. But it must have structure. Wake up immediately, move instantly, learn constantly, reflect deeply, plan strategically. Start with one habit, nail it, then add another. Build your armor. Success is consistent action. It is the boring, repetitive, unsexy work of doing the right thing every morning when nobody is watching. When you build a ritual that honors your goals, you are telling the universe that you are ready for the next level. Stop rushing. Start strategizing. Number 6, destroying the excuses. We all hear the voice, "It's too early, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow." This is the voice of mediocrity, begging you to stay small. The battle to get out of bed is the first test of your character, and you cannot afford to fail it. The biggest lie ever told is, "I'm not a morning person." That is a label you slapped on yourself to justify your laziness. Nobody is biologically wired to sleep until noon. You trained yourself to be that way, and you can train yourself to break it. The Rock is in the gym, clanging and banging at 4 a.m., not because of genetics, but because of grit. And let's talk about the real culprit, your nighttime habits. You cannot binge watch TV until 2 a.m. and expect to rise like a lion at 5 a.m. Tim Cook runs Apple, but he respects his biology. He sleeps early so he can rise early. If you want the morning, you must sacrifice the night. It is a trade-off. Do you want entertainment or do you want excellence? You will feel groggy. Expect it. That is sleep inertia. It is a chemical fob, not a death sentence. Don't negotiate with it. Jump into a cold shower, drink water, do push-ups. Shock your system into reality. Do not let a temporary feeling dictate a permanent failure. You need a why. If you don't have a reason to get up, you won't. Richard Branson gets up to live a life of adventure, an impact. What is your adventure? Find a project, a passion, something that makes you want destroying your excuses and the morning person myth to throw the covers off. Make your morning the best part of your day, not the hardest. Don't try to be a hero overnight. If you wake up at 8 wow, don't aim for 4 wow tomorrow. You will crash. Pull it back 30 minutes at a time. It is a war of attrition, not a blitzkrieg. Be patient, but be relentless and get accountability. Tell a friend. Post it online. Put your reputation on the line. When you know someone is watching, you will show up. Waking up early is a masterclass in self-discipline. If you can conquer the mattress, you can conquer the marketplace. Stop identifying as a victim of your alarm clock. You are the master of your time. The night before, you lay the trap, you set the alarm, you lay out your clothes, you visualize the jump. When the bell rings, execute, no hesitation. Number 7, the domino effect of greatness. How you start the day is how you live the day. A victorious morning creates a wave of momentum that carries you through every obstacle.